So, you may be wondering, what is this and where are we? Well, this is Half-Life Uplink, and plot-wise, it's about midway through Lambda Core.
Open up the reactor complex so we can get down to safety.
I'm sorry, but those doors will not open until we send the all clear.
So send it already.
I would love to do that, but the aerial bombardment has made a wreck of my transmitter. The cables are severed. We'd have to aim it by hand, and I'm getting high radiation levels in the transmitter dome. Nobody but a fool would go in there.
What about this guy?
Yes, you could survive in that suit of yours. Very well. I will lower security on the satellite access elevator, and you can go up into the dome. I'll try to help you over the intercom.
Now, technically this is a demo for Half-Life. It was released a few months after the original game was released, so everything that we're getting from this mod, the mod actually situates this in the middle of a Lambda Core, so we'll have a lot of weapons that we're not supposed to have, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. The point is the exhibition. And in fact, Lambda Core features a lot of things that they had plans for, but they didn't actually put into the main game itself. Not immediately apparent, of course, but
Bet you're glad I got this old sidearm on me, aren't you?
yeah, we'll see some things in time. What's mainly important about this is that it's sort of meant to be a showcase of all the different things you can do in the game. This isn't the first demo, of course. There was one that was released beforehand as more of a trade show demonstration. And in fact, it featured a rather interesting character who would put a valve inside his head. This would, of course, be the inspiration for their particular logo, which they would call Mr. Valve. But enough about that. It's time for our first idea of sorts. Yeah. I don't know if I ever actually saw this in the original game, but there we have a set piece where the control panel for a warehouse, or a hangar in this case, is completely broken, so we have to find a way out through another means. It's not what you call particularly clever, and in fact, what you'll notice about a lot of these set pieces is that yeah, they're not really particularly clever or really that thought-provoking. Also, you saw that, right? Like, we killed that guy. Yeah, I don't know if it's the fault of the mod or if it was always like this in the demo, but some weird things happen here. Like, you remember that zombie that we saw? The one who could, like, destroy crates with its mind?
Yes, sir. Team, hope you hit the box drop in Niner. That is.
You'll also notice as well, if you've played the original Half-Life, that the models look a little bit different than usual. That's because Half-Life Blue Shift introduced what's called HD models, which they eventually would port back into the original Half-Life. Now, they look okay. I kind of like them, but we'll be discussing the HD models a bit more once we get into Blue Shift proper. And yes, you saw that correctly. A Marine just threw a grenade straight up. I told you, like way back when we first introduced these Marines, that in the original Half-Life, their aim with grenades was, it left something to be desired, let's just say. And this whole section here, it'll have relevance later on, but in this case, it's actually just a red herring.
Let's go!
So then, you might have seen that med kit across the gap. Oh yeah, we need it now. We've got a bit of a nice amount of health right now, but we could do better. Or we could try to do better. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is so difficult. It certainly doesn't look like it should be. But oh well. The dozenth time is the charm. And there's the other sort of set-piece idea they had, where scientists were held up against a wall and executed in a very, edgy style. In addition, what we're going to be seeing next is a pit where Vortigaunts are actually being burned. So evidently their original plans for the Marines was that they were going to be a whole lot more brutal in their tactics. Which, I guess I can sort of see why that didn't really make the cut. Although, frankly, the Marines weren't meant to be sympathetic in the first place. There's that pit, by the way. You can tell by the comical-sized can of gasoline. Moving right along. I don't know why I find that so amusing.
Wait a minute, and I'll let you in.
You might also be noticing the subtitles here. The original Half-Life and Half-Life Blue Shift, Opposing Force, and Decay did not have a subtitles option, so going forward I'll be trying to insert my own. It's going to be a little bit hit or miss, I realize, and I apologize for that, but I'll do my best to make things readable. So what is the whole point of Uplink? Well, you remember that rocket that we fired at the end of On a Rail? And how that just sort of kind of vanished from the story? Well, that's what we're trying to uplink to.
Freeman, you'll want to work quickly. Tune the transmitter to the USNRC. I repeat, tune to the USNRC.
Which sort of carries the implication that the whole, like, we need to fire a rocket to get rid of this mess. Yeah, the only purpose of it was to launch a satellite in order to open a door.
I'm sending the all clear, and the doors should open now. We'll meet you down below.
Yeah, I said there was going to be an explanation, but I didn't really say there was going to be a good explanation. How do you like that Marine chatter, by the way? I feel like the Black Mesa version is a little bit more believable, but it's not quite as comical. Alrighty, wait for it. Wait for it. And they exploded and they got immediately cloned. At least I assume that's what happened. There were also supposed to be guys coming out of the ceiling, but I don't know why they were a no-show. Once again, it might be the mod, it might be the demo itself. I don't know.
Well, I seem to be seriously wounded. I don't think I can last much longer.
Ah, yeah. Like the scientists, that's sort of one thing that you do miss out as well if you're not playing the original, is that, yeah, the original Half-Life scientists were, yeah, they just had some of the best voice lines, if you ask me. Not best in terms of quality, but just best in terms of entertainment value. Anyway, now watch this guy. Yeah, he's got a problem with a broken neck, right? Well, yeah, if you rescue him, he unbreaks his neck. How about that? Hey there, buddy. What you looking at? Yeah, I see you sneaking away. So, yeah. Uplink has, you know, some soldier battles. It has some horror atmosphere. It's a nice grab bag of different concepts that are central to Half-Life without actually giving anything away because it doesn't exist, you know. In retrospect, I think it might have been perhaps a little bit wiser to have just put it in its proper place in the story. But then I would have had to cut Lambda Core in half in a very awkward manner, so I don't know. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. It sort of, I don't think it would have worked out. Now then, this seems a bit familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, it's that area we couldn't access before. I told you that it would have a purpose eventually. But now, yeah, things are a little bit different out here. Even if I'm using stuff that I theoretically have more ammo for than I ought to, everything that I've been using so far has been basically stuff that the original level had. So I've not been, like, cheating with using the hive hand or anything like that because we do not have the hive hand. At least, we wouldn't if we played this demo. And you know what, I don't think the grenades really got as much love as they ought to have in the original game anyhow, so it all works out. I also do kind of question the whole idea of releasing a demo like several months after a game has been released. Like, I'm not sure what Valve was thinking there. It feels sort of like, you know, you've basically already sold to most of your customer base, so who are you trying to attract with releasing this new, like, completely, like, out of the blue level? Oh well. You know what? It's their game. They can do whatever weird, completely nonsensical thing they want to with it. Like, say, farming it out to a completely unknown... Oh, sorry there, fella.
What is that smell?
I don't know. It looks like there's some things in there, but I don't really know how to get there.
Okay, why not? I'll bet that stings a bit.
Oh yeah, I'll bet it did.
Now, I wonder if those boys could have made a bigger mess.
Yeah. It looks like you can crawl through the top of this door, but you can't. Despite the fact that it looks broken, you actually have to just press the button. Now, when has something ever actually worked when we tried to press the button for it? So then, here's where, yeah, we would have acquired a crowbar. And also, there's something I want to show off. Like, we saw this briefly in Black Mesa, but yeah, vending machines, they dispensed canned drinks that we could actually use to get as much health back as we wanted. It's not a very practical way of doing so, though.
Get back!
Got one!
Freeman, who would have thought you'd still be alive?
Not me, that's for sure.
Hey, Gordon. It can't get any worse than this.
Yeah, I think that as well as like when I do the
Do you have any idea what's going on?
yeah, when I do blue shift and
I can't see a thing.
as I was saying, when I do blue shift and opposing force, I probably won't put in all of the sort of like the canned quotes. Like, I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense because, well, yeah, that's just even more work. Here's another thing that you didn't actually see in the original game. Yeah, like monsters being in cahoots. Those hound eyes are programmed to run away and then trick us into getting into this inescapable ambush. Well, we can escape it, but through the application of violence. What I'm saying, though, is that, yeah, like, you didn't actually see in the original Half-Life monsters coordinating with one another in order to cause, like, dedicated little, like, maneuvers like that. How about that? We're actually going to be coming up on the end of this demo shortly. Basically, once we come into this next room and we experience this monster attack, then, yeah, that's it. That's the end. Yeah, you can sort of see why this would be the end. We don't have any experimental weaponry in the demo because we never picked up any, and we don't have any rockets or anything, so yeah, we'd effectively be stuck in this room with the Gargantua and it would fade to black, leaving our fate uncertain but probably grim. However, since this is in the middle of Lambda Core, I have a little present for him. Delightful. So, that actually concludes this little demo here. Next update, we'll be getting into Blue Shift proper. And, yeah, I hope to see you there.